or it just kind of cuts right
It's live now.
Okay, very good.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to drop by the Everyday Watch channel. Today, I'm joined with the founder of the Toronto Timepiece Show, Jason.
Hi there.
And Jason, I really appreciate you coming down. I know it was quite the trek from Toronto to meet me at my home, my studio here. So
quite all right. It was Saturday evening, so it's a pretty quick trek out, and a beautiful sunny day here, and just super excited to be bringing this show to Toronto and the Canadian community. And I know yourself, Torin, you've been very supportive of the show, so I really appreciate that. And looking forward to our chat today and getting some questions. Hopefully, if some people join us for the live, and we'll just kind of go from there and have a nice chat. And happy to share with you the experience with the show so far.
Excellent, thank you. And I'll just mention towards the end of this show too, I'm going to quickly present the winners for my 10K subscriber giveaway. I'm just going to feature a quick clip.
Awesome.
They've already been randomly selected and notified of the prizes, but
congratulations too on reaching 10K. That is a major milestone, and your channel is great. I think I've been a fan of it for a long time, and that much deserves success. So congrats to the winners too when he shares that video.
Yeah, no, thank you, Jason. I really appreciate that. And it's actually interesting because me having the channel is actually how we got to initially meet up, right?
That's true. So, that's true. Quite a while ago.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, maybe you can just give us some background of, like how you got into watches, and also you're also a brand owner, and
Correct.
Then eventually you went to develop the largest watch meetup in Canada, essentially. So
it will be. I've been into watches for a long time, and started my own brand, and we launched back in Zamea Watches, and we launched back in December of 2019, so just a few months before COVID really started. I know I had interactions with yourself as one of the reviews, and I've been working that business for a little while. Having had the opportunity as a brand owner to go down to a number of shows, both as an attendee and also exhibiting, when I kind of saw the excitement and what the shows really do for the watch community, I was like, Canada and Toronto could really benefit from something like this. So I started
100%.
taking some research and taking a look into it, and took a few months, and I looked through about maybe 20 venues before I chose the one that ultimately chose for the Toronto show.
Mm-hmm.
And put the deposit down in the space, and that kind of started from there. And just really, really excited, and it's really developed tremendously over the last year. We'll have nearly almost 60 brands participating in one form or another at the show, either exhibiting or through some other ways that they'll be involved. And the registration for the now tickets has actually been absolutely phenomenal. We've registered well over 3,000 attendee tickets for the weekend, so it's going to be it's a big space, but it's going to be an extremely, extremely busy weekend. So
I can imagine. Yeah, and I think I mentioned putting this live stream together that it's one of the biggest shows, but it is actually the biggest show.
Hands down.
Hands down the largest.
Unless there's something that's secretly done that I'm not aware of, it'll be hands down. It will be the biggest gathering in Canada for sure, ever, in terms of watches. So we've got about 5,500 square feet in the hotel space, split up between 3 areas. They're all connected, but they're kind of 2 large rooms and a foyer area, and it's all flows together. We'll also, on the Saturday, we have a number of theater presentations where we've rented a theater, and all day Saturday we'll have panel presentations, speakers, a lot of great content going on there as well. That's if you come to the show, you can get access to that anytime as long as there's space within the room. And we've got some tremendous guests coming and speaking both internationally and locally. So really looking forward to that element as well. But don't fret if you can't get to the show or you're not able to attend all the presentations. We'll be recording them with a professional video crew, and those will be uploaded as well, so everyone can enjoy them and watch them either after the show or if they at another time. So sorry about that. I forgot to turn off my phone before the live stream. How could I do that? So anyways,
this is
apologize, guys.
Being live is all about, guys.
It's true.
Maybe I'll just pause and say hi to people in the chat.
Yeah, that'll be great. So
we got Kevin Hawthorne all the way from Florida. Thanks for joining today.
Welcome, Kevin.
And we got Bill K. And he's extending his congratulations. Thanks for the kind words, and also to the winners for the 10K subscriber giveaway.
Awesome. Yeah, so it's been a lot of fun putting this together And when I first started really in the genesis, I would say, of the program itself, one of the things that I did, I had a lot of ideas about what I thought would make a really strong show, but I went around and I really canvassed a lot of members of the community as well and asked them, if you were to have the opportunity of a show locally, what would you like to see? Or maybe what would you like to see done differently if you've gone to other shows? So that was how a lot of the content and the structure of the actual show itself was put together based on a lot of feedback from the community. One of the things that we're doing, which is quite unique to this show, to my knowledge, from most shows across the world, is on the Friday evening, we're having a dedicated creators evening. So what often happens, and you could probably relate to this to a certain extent, is when you're trying to get filming or maybe get a soundbite or an interview, and there's big crowds or things are busy, it makes it very challenging to kind of have that dialogue or get the content that you want. So on the Friday night, it's not a public night, but we're getting a lot of local creators, journalists, bloggers, reviewers, etc. And it's a full brand setup, and they're going to have the opportunity to really engage and interact with all the brands. So there should be a lot of amazing content and video clips and content that comes as a result of that evening. And
yeah, I'm really looking forward to that night, and I really do hope maybe I can get some collaborations in the future with these brands coming out of that. So it's really good you thought to put that evening together, and I'm grateful to be able to attend.
Oh, thank you very much. And the brands themselves, as I've talked to them about the Creators Night. It's actually one of the things that they're most excited about as well, is that opportunity to dialogue and create some collaborations as well. So I'm sure that's one of the many goals that they have of coming to Toronto and really wanting to find ways to engage the Canadian community, because they haven't really had that opportunity before in the context of a show. And
sure,
now it's happening.
Now it's happening. This is a perfect forum for them as well. I mean, over in the US, you got like Wind Up and you got a lot of big events.
Yeah.
And now in Canada, we'll hopefully this is more of an annual occurrence.
It is going to be an annual occurrence. So the Toronto Timepiece Show, we've also expanded out to Vancouver as well. So we do have a Vancouver show as well that's in the works right now. We have about maybe a half dozen brands already committed and a lot of interest. That's a 7,500 square foot facility right on the waterfront. It's really an amazing spot. So I expect great things from that show as well. But right now, most of my focus is, of course, is on the Toronto show. There's a lot of moving parts, as you can imagine. So,
yeah, that's really cool to see. And I know as we get closer to the date for the Toronto Timepiece Show, you're probably going to be socializing this more across other platforms and stuff. I'm just wondering too, for people who can't attend, where are you going to be posting this content?
I think the content is going to be
through the
Instagram. It's going to be mostly through Instagram. We do have a YouTube channel set up, but there's not really any content on it yet for the YouTube channel. We'll post all of it there through a number of our media partners as well. The way I've designed the media creation in terms of the files of the shows and whatnot, I'm not going to necessarily keep them just protected to only be the Toronto. It's kind of free media, so I'll be sharing it with a lot of the other creators or people if they want to take portions or clips, especially the speakers or the people on the panels as well. I'm providing them the files from a professional video crew who's going to film the presentation. So there'll probably be a lot of kind of channels that information is filtered through. And even for me, because I'm going to be walking around doing a lot of things with the show, I'm not going to have the opportunity to sit inside the theater and watch some of these shows. So I'm going to have to watch it on video after the fact as well.
It's probably going to be a blur for you, actually.
I was one of a friend of mine here in the Toronto area. He's also a watch enthusiast like myself. We were having a good laugh last day because we were talking about the show and how everyone is very excited. And he kind of said, he goes, Jason, he goes, you're probably going to be the guy at the show who's having the least amount of fun because you're going to be working nonstop throughout the weekend. I said, yeah, that's probably true. But, to me, it's going to be an absolutely exhilarating feeling to finally see all of it come together and all the thousands of people literally over the weekend who are going to converge in downtown Toronto and take part in the show. And it's just super exciting. I said nearly 60 brands. We've got brands from 15 countries currently as well. So
that's incredible.
It's a truly international exhibition in terms of kind of who's coming. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I mean, there's going to be brands that aren't normally represented too well in Canada, but it's a really good opportunity to see
Wow.
their products and what they have to offer.
Absolutely. There's nothing else like holding a watch kind of, it's a bit of a cliche, but like in the metal and really feeling it. But the other part too, that as an attendee and when I've gone to these shows and you talk with the brands, the focus of the show really is mostly independent and smaller brands. There's some larger ones there as well. We've been quite successful, but really when you're going to these booths or exhibitors and you're talking to them, usually you're talking to the founders, you're talking to senior folks who are very, very involved and instrumental in the brand and everything about it. So when you make that connection with the person and you really get a feeling for kind of who they are and what the brand is about, it's very, very impactful as a watch enthusiast to really
Absolutely.
kind of make that connection. And it just changes the relationship that you have with a brand, especially when you get to meet the folks in person. So
yeah,
that's quite something.
And if you don't mind me saying, I had that same experience when we first met, because I remember you hand delivered me yours.
That's true. I forgot that I did
the
that.
Eula
So,
diver.
yeah.
And just being able to chat with you and kind of see your enthusiasm around the watch. I mean, it really helped me connect with it. And I think it's a phenomenal watch. Are you actually wearing one right now?
I am, but I've got to, I'll take it off so people can see. Okay. This is I'll let you do the camera work there. You're more experienced than I am. So this is I'm not sure it's going to focus or not.
Oh,
anyways.
It's tracking your faces.
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
Ah.
There it is. Oh, it actually works if you do that.
Yeah.
I feel like those three monkeys don't see, don't speak, don't hear, don't see, right?
Yeah,
but,
so for those of you who can't get a good look at it, is this a meteorite dial?
It's a meteorite dial, that's correct.
Yeah.
So usually
I love the blued hands.
Thank you. Yeah, it usually comes on a bracelet, but I've also got some silicone straps. So I usually put that on for myself in the summertime. It's just a little more convenient and it's a bit nicer. I feel a bit more comfortable for me to wear during the summer months. So.
The one I reviewed, I think it was a black dial or something.
I believe it was. Yeah, I believe it was.
This really, I really like this dial. It's incredible.
Yeah, so that came actually from the Månlyusta meteorite, which fell in northern Sweden area about 1 million years ago. The actual material carbon dates to about 4.5 billion years old. So I always kind of jokingly say this is the best vintage piece you can find, right?
That's very vintage.
And I love it. And limited to 100 pieces, ceramic bezel, full lume, and the hands as well are individually heat blued. So they're actual heat blued hands.
Okay, that's incredible.
So I love this watch, and it's probably our most popular watch by far. I would say out of the line. So
quick wrist check for me too. I'm wearing the. Right, your face again.
Okay. Is it working?
Yeah.
Okay.
My Grand Seiko SBGN 003. It's the Quartz GMT. It's actually the first Grand Seiko I ever bought.
Nice.
I eventually actually sold the original one, but then I was searching the globe trying to get one again because it's discontinued.
Yeah.
And then the authorized dealer I go to, they actually were able to get one somehow.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So now this is a keeper.
So when you got it from the AD, was it a pre-owned one or was it like an old stock?
New old stock.
New old stock. That's perfect. Can't get any better than that.
Yeah.
So you must have been super excited.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I was. I don't know what I was thinking. I my collection's quite fluid at times, so I think I was just getting caught up with a bunch of other Grand Seiko stuff. And,
that's okay. I went and actually made my first Grand Seiko purchase not too long ago. I wound up getting the GMT show. So very, very. I've been a fan of that brand for a long time. So
yeah, it's my favorite brand, like mainstream brand. I mean, there's tons of micro brands out there.
There's lots of amazing brands. That's the one thing, and I think people coming to the show. The one thing that, especially if they've never been to a show before, they're just in for a treat because the experience of seeing so many incredible watches in front of you, and especially ones that you may not have heard of before, and you get to just have that experience with the brand owners or the people instrumental to the brand. You're holding the watch, you can hear the backstory of why they have the design language that they do. It's just so fun. People are going to love being there. Watch shows are a bit addictive. Actually, once you go to one, you will say like, "Oh, that was amazing! I want to go to another one." So it's just such an incredible experience. So I feel very privileged that I'm able to bring this to the local community here. So
I mean, you're doing a huge service to the watch enthusiast community. So thank you for putting this together.
Oh, you're welcome. You don't have to thank me, but it's like I say, I love doing it. It gives me a lot of energy to do it, and it's a lot of fun. And I
And
said,
I think you
I'll
being
be
a
working
brand
hard.
owner, like you're in a good position to be putting this together because I think you kind of
It definitely
know.
helps because when I initially built the structure of the show, I looked at it from two perspectives. One, as an attendee coming in, what would I want to see? What is going to make for a really amazing experience for the attendees? But two, also the brands who are participating, at the end of the show, I want the brands who came to say, this is amazing. I love it. I love the community here. I want to come back next year. And I want the show to be a success for them as well. Mm-hmm. So certainly being a brand owner helps me to appreciate some of the finer nuances of kind of challenges that brands face when they're coming to these shows, because it's a big investment to come to the show. There's not only the cost of the show. Most people are usually traveling, so they're coming from different places. I mean, we've got brands coming all the way from Hong Kong, Taiwan, Georgia, all over US, all over Canada. So there's a tremendous amount of resources and time that's allocated so that they can come and be a part of the show and really bring their passion to the community here. So it's not a light undertaking. So the fact that they've agreed to take part in the show and make it even more amazing by their presence, I absolutely love that. So
yeah, that's great. And on that note too, I think you brought with you some watches for some of these brands, and these watches that you brought with you, they're actually going to be prizes. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. There's one of the things, if some of the folks watching, they don't know, a lot of these watch shows, often there are prizes or things to kind of make the attendance a little more fun. So I've got a number of watches which have been either donated or it's been a kind of a mixture of how we've gotten the watches to the show. But those will be prizes that are given away. Everyone who comes and attends the show is going to have the opportunity to kind of put their ticket in to potentially win one of these watches. Some of them are absolutely phenomenal. I think maybe what we'll do, if we've got a couple minutes, I'll bring it over and I'll let you kind of take it out and we'll do the face hide and allow people to take a look at it. But all of these watches, again, can be won. They're only available really for attendees to win. People like myself, people who are part of the staff of the Toronto Timepiece show are not eligible to win these watches. So really everyone's going to sort of have their chance at it. So anyways, let me grab the box. Sure. And I'll bring it over and we can chat about it a little bit as well. So,
yeah, and let me just quickly welcome anyone else new to the chat. Looks like we got Dave here, and we also got Nelson. Thanks so much, and Nelson's looking forward to the show as well.
Welcome, guys. So I'm going to put on my glasses here so I can see all the watches as well. So
okay. So
I brought a total of 7 with me, so I'm probably going to limit the prizes to 8. So there may be one more watch coming. This is a brand. Some of the brands actually were very interested in supporting the show, but were not necessarily able to come out or exhibit this year. So some of them donated watches to just make the show a little better. So I want to thank those brands in particular. Some of the brands as well are actually exhibiting at the show. This is one of the ones that is not exhibiting at the show. It's actually a Malaysian brand called Aerotech. So this is kind of a fun little piece. So let's see, is it focusing? No focus.
Sure, it's not this through. Let me go off screen. Oh, yeah, if I go off screen,
there it is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So that's cool. It's a very much like a field tool design to it. Although it's got like a rotating bezel.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of got a nice sandblasted.
Is this titanium too, or is it just sandblasted?
I think it's sandblasted.
Okay.
I think it's sandblasted. So, anyways, it was kind of a neat little piece, and so there's that one. It comes in a little carry case.
Awesome.
And I took, just for ease of bringing them in, they're all brand new timepieces. They all come in the factory boxes with the warranty cards, etc. But I took them kind of all out just because it's a little easier to transport.
Sure.
So yeah. So here we've got a really wonderful piece from Delma watches. Again, this is one of the brands that cool. Swiss-made brand. They were unable to attend the show, but they kindly donated a watch to give to the show for the opportunity for somebody to win it. So it's a really
kind of like a PRX or like a 12 from Christopher.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of the 12.
Yeah,
for sure.
The 12.
Yeah,
with the fluted bezel.
Yeah, very similar, but it's a little more. This is a little more dressy, I think, than the 12, in my opinion. So, but like I say, great watches. Christopher Ward is also one of the brands that is coming to the show as well. So
that's huge.
I'll give them a shout out, especially because Christopher Ward. I've been a fan of Christopher Ward brand for a long, long time. I've gotten to know, the folks there, and Mike Pearson now, who's been with Christopher Ward now for a number of months since he moved over from his last role, and he's just an amazing individual, and the brand itself, I mean, it's just incredible.
They're taking off. Like,
oh yeah, they're
one thing I want to hopefully get out of this show is maybe they'll send me some review samples, because that hasn't happened yet.
It's possible. If you're listening, Mike, Toron's a good guy. He'll help you out. But anyways, they're. I saw them. I was just recently down in Chicago, actually, at the show down there, and I had a chance to catch up with them. I actually bought one of their watches, so I decided to take the plunge and I bought the Atoll. So I'm excited to get that in the very near future.
Okay.
And but yeah, they're a great brand, and they were a very early supporter of the show. They were probably brand number 4 or 5 who signed up, but by far they're one of the more recognizable.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, it really helped kind of open the door a little
Sure.
bit, and I sent a note directly to Mike France, of course, and he responded back, very gracious, and had a call, and it all kind of happened fairly quickly. So very excited they're part of the Toronto show for sure.
Yeah.
So moving on here. There you go. So this is from Far and Sweat. So they're a California-based brand, and they have some pretty fun stuff actually. So they're one of the exhibitors at the show, and they were kind enough to donate one of their timepieces. I can't remember the name of this particular model. If Adam's listening in and he sees it, maybe you could drop a comment.
The Wayfinder?
I think it might be the Wayfinder. Yeah, so it's
I
kind
think
of
that's
represent like a
what
map, right?
Yeah.
So
I was going to say the dial is very distinct, like it's got etches.
Yeah, this is a very distinct piece.
Topography on it.
Yeah, one thing I really liked about this too, actually, when I opened it up, I really liked the strap as well. It was actually quite. I didn't put it on my wrist, but kind of holding it, I was quite pleased with the construction. So
yeah, it's like a hybrid strap, right?
Yeah.
It's like rubber on the bottom, but
100%. So I'll take that one.
Oh yeah, RZE, right?
Yeah, so RZE, another great brand. This is
RZE.
another brand that is unable to participate directly in the show this particular year, but I believe they will have a couple of people in town, and I think they're going to do a couple of other things during the show. So kind of keep an eye out for that.
This is one of the GMTs.
Yes, correct. Yeah, so I just received that in the mail a couple of days ago. So
That's cool.
again, a great timepiece. One of the things I really wanted to do with this show as well, having gone to some of the bigger shows like Geneva and Watches and Wonders, is you tend to see a lot of people from industry and just other groups all kind of come together. And there's a lot of side events or things that happen, social gatherings. For the Toronto show, I certainly want to encourage that as well. I think the Creators Night feeds into that a little bit.
Absolutely.
But we have a lot of people coming to Toronto to take in the show, experience it. And even if they're not exhibiting that particular year, they just want to experience and be around the other watch enthusiasts in the community. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
And this is another piece. This one actually is quite interesting. They've done a custom engraving on the back for the show. So it's sort of a one-of-one. And they've put a maple leaf on the back there. But Sfera, they make some pretty cool watches, and they're based out of Austria. I had the opportunity to meet them in Geneva when I was there as well and meet the team, and they're a great bunch of people. They're a lot of fun. Probably met with them, a couple of nights, and I just kind of hung out. And they're very, very passionate about the brand, and they've actually got some really interesting stuff coming out over the next little while. So I suspect they'll have some of that at the show, so something to look forward to there. This is one of the prizes. It's a bit more of a mainstream brand, of course, with Mito.
Oh yeah, Mito.
Yeah. So this watch was kindly donated by one of our retail exhibitors at the show, and with Sam from Gem Bijou. He's located in downtown Toronto, so he's got quite an offering of different watches that he'll be bringing to the show. So he'll probably have a mixture, but the main ones he's going to be bringing will be, he'll have Oris with him and Seiko, as well as Longines. So some pretty powerful pieces. Yeah, absolutely.
And Mito, I think, is like they're doing a lot. Like in the past years, they've had some great releases.
They have had some cool stuff. So
I definitely want to check them out.
Yeah, and this is probably one of the bigger bigger literally and bigger from a MRSP standpoint. So Marathon watches from Canada, of course, one of the I would say the brand with the most heritage in Canada in terms of watch brands, and make some great stuff. They're coming to They're going to be a diamond exhibitor, so they're going to have a fairly big booth space in one of the rooms. And they were kind enough to donate this absolutely spectacular watch. So it's their top of the line chronograph, full stainless.
Yeah, it's like a G-Star, but a chronograph on top of it.
Yeah, it's really, really spectacular. When I saw it, I was like, wow, this is incredible.
Beefy.
So, oh yeah, this is beefy.
But yeah, it's very robust. Like,
it is.
Very distinctly marathon.
Absolutely. So very happy to kind of have this as one of the core prizes. So, all of these will be available for people potentially to win. Everyone who comes into the show will get at least one entry. There'll be some opportunities to get additional entries through some different things while you're there as well. So, and in order to win the watch, you don't actually have to be physically present when the draw is done. So you don't necessarily need to stick around the entire day. If you put in your entry and you're at the show for 4 or 5 hours and you want to go out for lunch or you want to, go home, whatever it happens to be, if we draw your ticket, we'll call you and you're going to get the watch. So it's not going to be one of these draws where if you're not there, you miss out. That drives
That's nice.
Crazy. Yeah, I think so. So, it should be exciting. So I'll put these back. So
yeah. No, thanks for bringing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else pop on, or is it just a few right now?
We've been steady so far,
Okay.
but I'll also invite the chat if you have any questions for Jason. Feel free to type it in at any point, and we'll try and get to them.
Always happy. I'm curious for anybody who's watching right now if anyone's. I think there's mentioned a couple are actually coming to the show, so I look forward to meeting you as well. So
I've received quite a few offline comments from Instagram or YouTube, and I think also because it's the weekend and it's 5:30, they might not be tuning in live, but this will be available on my channel later.
Excellent. So. Well, everybody's doing the barbecue and summer thing. It's summertime in Toronto, so this is kind of what you do, right? So,
having a big birthday barbecue tomorrow. So
that's true. Happy birthday! So
thank you. And Jason actually brought me a cake, guys. I mean, it's not here, but I'm going to enjoy that later.
We were debating whether or not to eat it, but I brought a chocolate cake, and we thought I'll make it a little messy, so we decided we'll have a piece later off camera. I think so. Yeah,
that's probably the way to go.
Anyways, happy birthday!
Thanks.
So what's your big plans for next year? Anything kind of going forward in terms of after the birthday?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to feel a little over the hill. I'm turning 41.
You don't look 41. You look a lot younger. So.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah. And I mentioned to Jason earlier too, my wife and I are expecting another daughter at the end of this year. Actually, right at New Year's. It's a New Year's baby.
Wow, you might be in the paper then, or
we'll see. Maybe I'll have the first one. Year. Who knows? Yeah. So that's going to probably keep me pretty busy.
I'm sure.
I definitely want to keep putting out content, but it's kind of slowed down a little with family.
Yeah. But that's what happens, right? That's what happens. So, anyways, so we're super excited about the show, and I just want to thank everybody. And, if people are listening as well for the community support. Mm-hmm. The response to the actual show happening has been absolutely amazing. I get comments. We're most active, I would say, socially on Instagram. I get a lot of comments almost every day. Somebody making a note or just kind of saying thank you for putting this together, and it actually means a lot to me when I get those type of responses. And I know that people are excited about what the experience is going to be come September. So, thank you for everyone for sending off those comments, and thank you for those folks supporting. And even when I was down in Chicago, I was down at another watch show, the Wind Up show down there, and I met a total of 6 people just kind of coincidentally who were coming to Toronto. About half of them were from the Toronto area, and the other half were like in different cities, and they were traveling into Toronto to take in the show and just enjoy themselves in Toronto. So it's pretty exciting when that's happening, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. We did get a question from Bill. He was asking what your watch brand is. So I think we covered it quickly at the beginning, but do you want to just recap?
Zenea watches, so Zenea. So we've been launched now for about 4 years, and we have a line of dive watches. We do have a second line that we're working on right now. It's a little different than I would say, because the first line is really more of a tool watch design. The second line that I'm working with, I don't want to call it a dress watch. It's actually quite different than that, but it's much more dressy in terms of what I'm together. So I'm not going to give away any other pieces right now, but
Okay.
It's in the works, and if everything comes together technically the way I hope it will, I hope it's really going to be something special and something very, very unique. So, because I haven't seen anything like it done ever in the watch world, at least from my perspective, from what I've seen. So
that's a big step.
Yeah, it'll be well.
Send it my way.
Let me reframe it from a design
Sure.
or aesthetic element. It's not like I'm not reinventing, making a new movement or something like that. I'm not a watchmaker, so.
Yeah.
But we're going to be putting it together, probably using some very high quality movements. So I think we're kind of settled on the Jupiter. We're going to get
awesome
and do that, and it's that's an amazing movement, and lots of customization and different elements. So it's a big undertaking. Even the first one was, but this will be even bigger. So fingers crossed, everything goes well. So right now, most of my focus though has been on the show, making sure that's being executed, and the brands have what they need to come in and be successful, and attendees are going to have a good time, and everyone's going to feel comfortable and safe and just have an amazing weekend. So
awesome.
Yeah. So thank you for asking.
Yeah. Now, a lot of viewers are actually in the States. I think Dave mentioned, unfortunately, because he's in the US, he can't make it, but hopefully he can make
maybe next year. It's going to be an annual occurrence. So my target dates would be the last weekend of September every year for Toronto. Okay. And for the Vancouver show that I mentioned earlier, the target dates will always be last weekend of April, hopefully, fingers crossed. Sometimes it's venue dependent, and there's lots of different elements that come into play. But those are kind of the target dates that I'll be looking at every single year going forward. So,
okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal that it's finally coming here, because I think you were planning this for well over a year.
Well over a year. Yeah, I would say when I started touring venues, it was the start of May 2023. I decided mentally in my head that I was going to want to put together a show in April of 2023. And then when I started touring facilities and taking a look, I found a place that I thought was kind of a good combination of what I was looking for. And I put the deposit down for the space, and that was kind of later May 2023. I'd spoken to a number of people in the community locally to bring them on board to help support or help grow the show. But at that point, I hadn't actually spoken to a single brand yet. I was like, you know what, I can help make this happen. So I started going out and reaching out, and I don't want to say it snowballed, but it definitely started building over time. It's been kind of a labor of love to make it all happen. And people are knowing about the show now. It's when I first started reaching out, of course, no one knew about the show. Yeah. And they were, they had a lot of questions. And now, more often than not, people have heard of the show one way or another. And, I take that as a real compliment, because the actual first inaugural show hasn't actually happened yet, right? That's this September. Yeah. But people know about it, and they know about the excitement and the number of tickets that have been registered, and they're hearing good things. So I think there's a lot of, good hopes, and that the show is going to potentially be something really special ongoing. And I believe it will as well.
Yeah, and you touched on there's going to be some special guests. I don't know if you want to.
I can talk a little about we haven't published the agenda yet, but it's a full
on the website. There's
the list of the guests, but I'm going to talk a little bit about how those guests will take part in the theater presentations and the panels. So we've got a number of guests. One of which is we're doing a panel discussion on horology-based artists. So we have a number of really amazing artists locally within Canada, Toronto, and also one from Montreal. So there's Diana Evans, who does some really amazing illustrative art, and her art is, I love it. It's just very playful and fun, and she's a real horology enthusiast as well. There's Julie Crawlis. She does these hyper-realistic graphite drawings. They're really, really beautiful. And there's also Dan Tannenbaum, who's an artist here locally out of Toronto, and he makes these absolutely amazing. He's got a big Instagram following. Yeah. And he's a nice guy too. I've met him several times, different contexts. And he makes these amazing sculptures out of old watch movement parts. Yeah. And he's just incredible creative spirit, and very smart, very intelligent individual. And the three of them are just going to be talking about their process of creation, why they chose horology as a significant element within their artistic endeavors and what they do. So we're going to have a great dialogue with that. We've got a small panel that's happening with other Canadian brands. So I don't want to say the ones yet because I haven't officially confirmed them, but I know the three. The Zene is not part of it, but there'll be three others, and they'll be coming in and talking about their journey of their brands, and some of them have been around a long time, other ones are a little less, and they're just going to speak. And there's kind of three levels: a smaller, a more medium, and a larger brand. So then we've got another individual named, most people know him as Rico's Watches out of Edmonton. He's coming in. He's involved in, he had a pretty popular podcast, which he's now kind of put to the side for a little bit. And he's coming out and he's going to be the moderator of a number of dialogues with some mil-spec or tactical type watch brands, kind of talking about that area.
Okay.
And we've got an amazing individual out of Montreal named Alexander Beauregard. And he has a brand called Beauregard Watches. He's a lapidarius by training, so jewels and gemstones. His pieces, though, are true like haute horology. He's not exhibiting at the show, but he's going to come and talk about his journey. And these pieces are absolutely stunning. It'll be really, really amazing just to kind of hear his story. And he's such a kind, down-to-earth individual. I just feel really privileged that he's going to be coming and talking at the show. And we've got a few others too, but that's kind of a snapshot of some of the dialogue. So it's a full day of programs. So the theater area has capacity of about 120 people. So we may get full, I expect. But if you don't see a show at the show, don't worry. They're all going to be recorded on video. It's going to be uploaded later, so everyone's going to have the opportunity to watch it. So should be an amazing day.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
It's a lot of fun to organize it, and I'm glad that we've been able to get the guests that we do. And one other thing, I should mention this as well, and they've been a great media partner for us, is James Stacy and Jason Heaton with the Grey NATO. Yeah. They are a media partner as well, and they will actually be recording an episode live on site at the end of the day, talking about the Toronto Timepiece show. So both of them have been amazingly supportive of the show from very early on. So I do want to give a thank you to both of them, and I'm really, really looking forward to having them present at the show. And I think they're just very down-to-earth folks, and I believe they're going to be doing usually some of the shows, they have like a very casual kind of hangout. So I believe they're probably going to be doing that on one of the evenings as well. And I'm sure they'll share more details of that as the show gets closer. So, but they're going to be doing an on live site podcast at the end of the day. So, just when you think the show is full, there's more stuff, right? Yeah. So, a lot of amazing things happening. So,
and as an aside, I'm hoping to get some content out of the show myself. So I'm hoping
there'll be lots of content, I'm sure. And that's one of the things I'm looking forward to. I think the Creators Night is going to be the start of that because there'll be a lot of brand interaction during that first night. But also with all the watch enthusiasts coming on Saturday and Sunday, I know there's going to be so many people filming and taking photos. And by all means, when you're posting pictures about the show, tag us at Toronto Timepiece Show, or hashtag tag is better. And, we'll reshare what we can. It's going to be super busy, so I can't promise I'll reshare it right away. I may have to wait a little bit. But there's just going to be so much amazing stuff happening. And as people are enjoying the show, I really want them to share with everyone, that if they're enjoying it. Because that's how we spread the word about the show and make it, even bigger and even better next year. So
awesome.
Yeah. It's exciting stuff. So, and I think you had a video you still wanted to play, right, as well?
Yeah. I mean, if it's okay, we can transition to that. I just have a quick clip of announcing who the winners for my 10K subscriber giveaway are. So I'll try and present it on the screen here.
Hey guys, it's currently Friday, July 19th, which is the day after the 10K giveaway contest has closed. It also means it's Flieger Friday. I am rocking this Laco Type B Flieger on this custom yellow strap. I'm trying to coordinate my look here. But I'm just going to quickly cycle through all of the contest forms that were submitted and choose winners at random. The first winner is going to win the Zelos Nova 2. That's the new release from Zelos that sold out. And the second winner is going to receive the Addy's Dive Pilot Watch, as well as an additional strap. So let's just head behind me to my desktop desktop computer, I've uploaded all of the form entries into one Excel file, and then there's a random formula to select the winners. So as you can see, I have all my form entries here on the left-hand side of just names. I'll have their contact information on a separate sheet, but using this random formula, the winner for the Zelos Nova is going to be Clinton Shields. And then the winner for the Addy's Dive Pilot Watch is David Vo. I apologize if I butchered that name. But thanks so much for everyone who entered the 10K giveaway. It was a lot of fun. And I'll probably announce the names of the winners as well on an upcoming live stream event.
Okay, so hopefully we're back now.
All right.
So
congratulations to the winners.
Congratulations to I will say that the first winner for the Zelos was actually from Austria, so that's kind of cool. But now I have to ship a watch to Austria, and then the winner for the Pilot Watch, Dave, he's in the U.S. So pretty straightforward. But congratulations to the winners. And I'll quickly mention too, you brought some straps to give away as well. Maybe I'll try and do this at a later time, but
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Oops, sorry. So I didn't realize this, but you sell these on your website?
They're not on the website actually right now.
Oh, they're
So
not.
yeah, I usually provide them as part of the purchase when people buy a watch. But if I'm at the shows, like I'll usually sell them as well. And but I thought I'd bring out a set. This is
These are like rubber,
they're silicone
silicone-based straps.
Yeah. So it's quick release and
Oh, it's got your branding on it, though,
yes,
right?
it does.
So
yes,
it's got Zania,
it does.
Buckle,
It does.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're pretty comfy. And anyways, I left a few for Torn, so he'll do a future giveaway at some point for the straps.
Yeah.
And speaking of straps, I want to give a quick shout out too, because I saw in your video that you played, you had some straps from Strapsco.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they are also a large exhibitor for us in Toronto, and they came on board quite early. So I just want to give a special thank you to Martin and Rebecca from Strapsco. They've been absolutely amazing to work with. They're going to be bringing a ton of stock to the Toronto show as well. So
yeah,
they'll be.
I actually really want to meet with them because I've reviewed a lot of their stuff in the past, and I'm also a customer. I they always got those sales where you buy a couple, you get one free. So like,
yeah,
I buy in bulk.
It's actually they're an amazing group, and the company itself is very, very popular. Pretty much everybody across all levels of watch enthusiasts knows the company and gives them a lot of patronage. So I'm very happy to have them as part of the show as well. So I just want to give them a special shout out and thank you for believing in the Toronto show and being supportive of it. And I know they're going to be a great exhibitor there. People have lots of stuff they can choose from there. Yeah. That's the challenge when you come to these shows. All I can say is, not all the vendors will be selling because some are international, but bring your credit card or save your dollars, because there's a lot of great stuff that you'll have to choose from to buy there. And anybody who picks up anything at the show, certainly I thank you for that too, because it helps support the brands and it makes their trip worthwhile. And even if you don't buy anything, when you look around, if something doesn't quite appeal to you, but if you connect with the brand, give them a follow, sign up for their email list, stay in contact. It makes the show a very successful show for the brands when you're able to do that. So I would encourage all of you to do that, and certainly give us a follow as well at Toronto Timepiece Show if you don't already. So on Instagram. So
awesome. Well, I really appreciate you again making the trip here to talk about the Toronto Timepiece Show. Personally, I'm getting really excited for it as well. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm excited that the community as a whole is really coming together. And for the first inaugural show, I really couldn't be happier with the brand mix and the response of the community here. And we got a lot of fun stuff happening during the show as well. On the Saturday, those tickets are now sold out for the Saturday. We're at capacity. We're actually having a live-to-air radio broadcast as well. So we'll have Z103, which is a local radio station around the Toronto GTA area. Yeah. Nice. And they'll be out, and there'll be a DJ. I think it's going to be Tony. Don't quote me. I think it might be Tony Markle. So
really? He's pretty big, yeah.
Yeah. So he'll be, I believe, on site. Again, don't quote me, because that's what I requested, and he usually does them, but unless he can't make it. So, but they'll be on site on Saturday morning and part of the afternoon, and they're just going to be having all sorts of great stuff happening. And for the line kind of coming in, they've got like their crew that they work with, and they have all sorts of giveaways and fun stuff as well. So there'll be a lot of excitement happening there as well. So I just think it's going to be an amazing weekend for every day. So, come on down if you don't have tickets. Sunday tickets are still available. They're free. I do recommend if you want to come, get your Sunday tickets, because that's probably going to be closed off pretty soon too, because we're getting...
And the best place to get tickets is on the website.
On the website, there's a link right at the top of the page. It says, get free tickets or register for tickets. You click on there, and it's very easy. It's through Eventbrite. You just need your email and your name, and you're done, and it gets emailed right to you. So tickets will be checked at the door, though. So please have a copy of it, either on your phone or print it out if you're old school like me. So anyways, but looking forward to seeing everybody. I'm super excited about the show. Torin, thank you for all your support, not only for Zanea, but the show as well. I'm glad you're coming down and you're going to get to enjoy it, both as a watch enthusiast and as a creator as well. And it's just going to be an amazing weekend. So
yeah, again, really stoked that it's happening. And to all the viewers watching, please spread the word if this is something you're interested in seeing. And thank you for watching. And again, be sure to check the Instagram for more updates.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're very active on there. So we're constantly announcing new brands. There's actually still a number of brands that are not on the website that are pretty well known, and they're going to be coming. I'm just waiting on a couple things from them. So there's still actually more announcements coming of some pretty exciting brands that are joining the show. So it's such an exciting time. So give us a follow at Toronto Timepiece Show for Instagram, or at Vancouver Timepiece Show for our Vancouver's show as well, if you're in the Pacific Northwest or Western side of Canada or the US.
Great. Well, lots to look forward to. Again, thanks for making the trip down.
Thank you.
And have a great weekend ahead, and safe trip back to Toronto.
I think so. Thank you. Not before a piece of cake, though.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Definitely have some cake before the stream shuts down.
Sounds good. All right. I think that's it.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Catch you in the next one.
Take care.